Hey guys, it's Drac, and this is the BoomCo Colossal Blitz, and as you can see, it's huge. It is a Target exclusive. At one point, it was referred to as the Dartsplosion, I believe, and so I will put both in the title likely, but claiming ranges of up to 75 feet, it is using flywheel technology, has two high-capacity drums at the 72 dart capacity. That means that each one of these drums is 36, which means that there's technically more space in these than Nerf has ever put in anything, as the 35 round Raider drum is the largest blaster. Also comes with 72 BoomCo smart stick darts, and then down here I am not positive what these are. I think they're probably part of the drum. They are, in fact, the mechanisms that hold the drums into place. Now, I know nothing about the rate of fire. I know nothing about the performance. We'll flip it over to the back. Two drums, highest capacity BoomCo blaster, or really much of anything for that matter, and a supercharged motor. These motors are not supercharged. That is a lie. They are the standard motors. I'm certain that not only this, but also the Spin Sanity 3X used as well. And then two rapid fire, 72 darts in seconds. Is that a sentence? What is that? 2 rapid fire, 72 darts in seconds. Is it 3? Okay, they're 1 supercharger motor, so 1 rev, 2 fire, and then 3 is, there's a switch for single fire. Okay, there's a gripped handle and then 4 separate railed mounts. Now, I am going to take this out of the package on camera, but there's no way I'm going to load it up on camera just because there's so much going on. It took forever when I did that for the Rhino Fire, and I don't want to make you guys sit through that. So once we relinquish it from this parcel and take kind of an honest first look at it, we will, don't cut towards yourself, we will load it up off camera because there's just a lot of BoomCo darts that go into this guy. So come on, don't do this. Huge, but the handle is comfortable. It looks like here's our full auto versus semi-auto switch, which is just a difference in this, I guess. We have 2 sets of flywheels running off of the same motor. That's interesting. I wonder if that'll reduce the torque having an even heavier flywheel assembly. Still using that rubber on rubber grip pattern, which isn't great for the durability of the darts, but is excellent for traction and torque. And then these little wheels, I assume, rotate the inside of this, but we'll find out all of that right after this. I'm going to go ahead and remove these, load them up, and install the batteries. And it looks like it's going to take 6C batteries, so we're going to add some weight to this guy. Phillips head screwdriver here will pop this panel off. Okay, so full disclosure, took a while to load these individually. They spin through both directions and you have to come in and insert the smart stick darts, but each is loaded up with its requisite amount of BoomCo smart stick darts. Assembly of the blaster itself involves taking these plates and placing them into the blaster. They're labeled A and B. I'm sure they're instructions, but I'm going to try and figure it out. So they also have a 1 and a 2 on them. This looks like these 2 prongs here are spring-loaded and would fit into here. So we're just going to go ahead and start there. That seems very correct. Snapped into place and everything. Alright, so that is solid. It's not coming off once it's on. I did unscrew the battery plate. You'll have to excuse me. I assume this will work exactly the same way. So we'll slide this home. And easy peasy lemon squeezy. So that's done. We'll go ahead and do the batteries now. I grabbed these Duracells fresh out of my fridge. That tells you A, that they're new batteries, and B, that they have plenty of charge. I've gotten comments before asking me why my batteries go in the fridge. I am one of those crazy people who believes that batteries that are stored in a cold environment lose or discharge slower. They degrade less over time. So since I buy my batteries in bulk, it makes sense to store them in such a way that they're not like bad batteries after 2 years of just sitting there. And I could be right or wrong there. You guys are welcome to debate it, but I'm going to keep doing it because I have a dedicated battery drawer in my refrigerator. It's right underneath my Coca-Cola. Alright, so we'll start in full auto. Will not rev without these in, so we know there's plenty of locks. I wonder if this is the only lock or if it also has one here. Whatever, we'll find out. So we have 1 and 2. Of note, these drums are not symmetrical. They look symmetrical and they parallel one another well, but they are not the same, which means that if you wanted to run this as part of a loadout, buy extra drums. I assume the only way to buy the extra drums is to come in and purchase 2 of these Dartsplosions. But if you were so crazy as to spend $200 on these guys and have an extra set of drums, you can't just keep them in a dump pouch. You would have to label them somehow. They are labeled. Here's 2 matches 2, so that's how I'm trying to figure out putting this together, and then it is locked in. Super duper cool. I wonder how we're going to actually push darts in. Anyhow, with only 1 drum in, it will not fire. It suffers from the same product flaw that the Rhino Fire does, where it would appear that both... I'm a fool. Both of the drums have to be loaded for it to even rev, which is kind of crazy. It means that if one is unloaded or one jams, your blaster is now unfunctional or dysfunctional. Alright, and my model still is refusing to rev, so we will give it a couple seconds on camera trying to figure out why it isn't revving. It's certainly loaded and has batteries, so... Awesome. Well, assuming this isn't a product flaw, I will figure it out and come back in just a second. So there's clearly something fickle with the rev switch on mine, but I played with it off camera for a little while. I got it to a point of functionality. I still haven't fired the blaster, but I got it to hum to life, so it takes about 3 seconds for the 9 volts of standard alkaline power to get these flywheels up to speed, so that's from completely nothing. Here, we can count it. It's about 1, 2, 3, and then at about 3 it starts really humming. So I'm going to go ahead and fire it. I think we will start off in single fire mode just to hopefully get a gauge for its maximum potential. That gives me time to pause between shots and let it actually fire its full potential. So 1, 2, 3, and... So that was 2 shots at the same time. Is it? Nope, it's 1. And it's alternating through, so it's here, here. That's very strange that it's doing 1 at a time that way. So again, I'm wearing safety goggles. Hopefully it doesn't stick to these, but I am going to fire this blaster directly at my face against my better judgment. So we can get a look here. Alright, so it is definitely alternating one into the other, even though both drums are moving each time. That's kind of fascinating, how that's alternating, so that's pretty cool. A neat feature. We'll rev it up in full auto mode this time, and it looks like you can switch without breaking that circuit, which is awesome. So, firing now. A significant loss in range, but the rate of fire is amusing. It goes pew, 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 pew. That's great. Again, there's a lot of parallels between this blaster and the Rhino Fire. They're both very expensive flagships. I want to say the rate of fire on this is comparable to that of the Rhino Fire, but the ranges take a significant loss. So for reference, here's their single shooting mode. And those are getting about 30-foot flat shots. Once we switch to full auto, we're topping out at like 24, 25. So we'll angle a few in full auto. I want to know what kind of tailwind they were using when they tested this and got 70-foot ranges, because that's not real. With an angle and a tailwind, I could maybe see breaking 50. Alright, so that is the blaster. I think I've emptied it. How easy is it to take these drums out once you've emptied it? If we come in, depress both, kinda. There we go. Haven't quite emptied it, so you can easily reload into this directly into your feed, and moving these isn't hard, so I definitely think that that's fine. You would never take your drums out, I don't think, unless you had gone off the rails and purchased multiples of these to have extra reloads and like a dump pouch on a belt, but that is my review of this, my overall impressions are that this blaster is just simply not worth the money. We finally have to talk about it. It's a cool toy. It does exactly what it says it would. It fires full auto darts and has a massive capacity. It does so in both a semi-auto and full auto fashion. But by the time you've purchased your C batteries and the inevitable dart reload, because it only comes with enough to fill it once, you are looking at a very expensive blaster. MSRP for this is $90, and then tack on the batteries. I'm comfortable saying this is a 3-figure blaster. Let's see, can it fire with no darts chambered? Okay, so it will find the darts, that's nice. It only needs one side to be actually loaded, unlike the Rhino Fire, that's cool. But this blaster is not worth the money. It is not worth $100. It is not a $100 blaster. I cannot say that enough times, enough ways. It's cool, but for the price, you could buy 2 of the Spinsanity 3Xs. They do the exact same thing. You could even dual wield them, and you'd be much, much happier. This blaster is obscenely heavy. It weighs much more than a toy needs to, so it's not suitable for children on that grounds alone. Between the sheer amount of plastic here in the drums and the blaster itself, plus the 60 batteries, it's just a monster of a toy. The MSRP will surely go down. I can't see anybody purchasing these for their MSRP, so I would definitely wait. A price that I would be comfortable buying one of these at is like 50 United States dollars, or your currency's equivalent, and I can explain that. It's a little bit cooler than the Spinsanity, and it comes with more darts, so I factor in the extra darts as like a free reload for the blaster, and that's where I'd be at, is right around 50 United States dollars. Since it costs double that to put one of these together in a functional form, I just can't recommend it. I will not be putting a link to its Amazon, both because I don't want people purchasing it at its current price and because it is a Target exclusive, so I think you can only get it at Target.com and in their stores. But that is my review. My overall verdict is that this is a strong pass. I bought this one so you don't have to, but if you need a flagship for your child for Christmas, or if you need a just monstrous blaster, the Rhino Fire is cheap these days, and you can get it through the cool Nerf program that's coming out soon, and I think that that is just a much better option. Plus, you can fire actual foam ammunition, which is way more fun anyway. So Rhino Fire beats the crap out of this blaster, and this one still costs $100. Don't get it. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed an honest look at this blaster. It was certainly something that needed to be done.